Have you ever heard of the bread that literally drove an entire village mad? It sounds like something out of a horror movie, but this really happened in 1951, in a quiet, picturesque village in southern France called Pont-Saint-Esprit. One August morning, everything changed. People who ate bread from the local bakery began experiencing something terrifying. It started subtly. Some felt nauseous, others complained of a burning sensation, but soon, the situation spiraled into absolute chaos. Residents were gripped by terrifying hallucinations. They saw fiery monsters, twisted beasts, and felt as though they were being consumed by flames. Men, women, and even children were running through the streets, screaming in terror. One man shouted, "I am a plane," and leaped from a second-story window, miraculously surviving with broken legs. Another tried to drown himself, screaming that snakes were eating his stomach. The local asylum was quickly overwhelmed, with dozens of people needing to be restrained in straitjackets. The village was plunged into a state of mass hysteria and collective insanity. For days, the nightmare continued. In total, over 250 people were affected, around 50 were interned in asylums, and tragically, at least 7 people died. So, what caused this horrifying event, which became known as la pain maudite, or the cursed bread? For years, the official explanation was ergot poisoning. Ergot is a fungus that can grow on rye, a common ingredient in the flour used to make the bread. This fungus contains a naturally occurring alkaloid that is strikingly similar in chemical structure to LSD. Ingesting it can cause powerful, terrifying hallucinations, convulsions, and a whole host of other frightening symptoms. It's essentially a psychedelic trip, but a horrifying, uncontrollable one. Imagine an entire community, poisoned by their daily bread, descending into a shared nightmare. The baker, Briand, was initially blamed, but he insisted his flour was clean. Investigations pointed to a batch of rye flour that had become contaminated somewhere along the supply chain before it ever reached his bakery. The miller who supplied the flour was eventually charged, but the exact point of contamination remains a subject of debate. However, the story doesn't end there. In 2010, a new, more sinister theory emerged. An American investigative journalist named T.H.P. Albarelli Jr. published a book claiming he had uncovered declassified CIA documents. These documents allegedly suggested that the Pont-Saint-Esprit incident was not an accident at all. Instead, he claimed it was a secret experiment conducted by the CIA as part of their infamous MK-Ultra program. According to this theory, the CIA, in collaboration with a pharmaceutical company, deliberately sprayed an aerosol form of LSD onto the town or directly contaminated the food supply. The goal: to study the effects of mind control agents on an unsuspecting population. Albarelli pointed to notes from CIA officials discussing a horrific incident in Pont-Saint-Esprit and transcripts of conversations between a CIA agent and a representative from Sandoz, the Swiss company that first synthesized LSD. This conspiracy theory adds a chilling layer to the story. Was this a natural disaster, a freak case of food poisoning, or was it a deliberate, cold-blooded human experiment? The French government and many historians still officially support the ergot poisoning theory. They argue that the evidence for the CIA's involvement is circumstantial and lacks a definitive smoking gun. The symptoms, they say, are perfectly consistent with a severe case of ergot, but the questions linger. Could a natural fungus really cause such a uniform and intense outbreak of mass psychosis? Why did some declassified documents mention Pont-Saint-Esprit in the context of mind control experiments? The truth, like the visions experienced by the villagers, remains murky and unsettling. Whether it was a natural fungus or a secret government plot, the cursed bread of Pont-Saint-Esprit stands as a terrifying reminder of how fragile our perception of reality truly is. It shows how something as simple and comforting as a loaf of bread could, under the wrong circumstances, become a vessel for madness and terror. It's a historical mystery that blurs the line between a freak accident and a dark conspiracy, leaving us to wonder what really happened on that fateful August day. Thanks so much for watching and diving into this strange piece of history with me. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the unknown. See you in the next one.